This is the story of Nader and Mona, two names that shook Kuwait and caused a diplomatic crisis involving four countries: Kuwait, the Philippines, Syria, and Lebanon. The events you're about to hear are some of the most chilling and unexpected in recent history. Prepare yourself for the tale of the freezer case, a crime that went unnoticed for over a year. Our story begins with Nader Asaf, a young man from southern Lebanon. Raised as an only child, Nader was given everything he needed to succeed: education, comfort, and care. But in this seemingly perfect upbringing, something crucial was missing. Nader's parents focused so much on his material success that they neglected his moral upbringing. This would prove to be a grave mistake. Lonely and isolated, Nader spent much of his time at his aunt's house, surrounded by his cousins. He hated being alone, and this isolation began to shape his personality in dark ways. As he grew older, Nader discovered a talent for trade, particularly in sales. His ability to persuade and sell became his defining trait. But as he climbed the ladder of success, his relationship with his parents deteriorated. In early 2008, Nader landed a prestigious job in Kuwait, working in one of the most famous stores specializing in global brands. His success grew, but so did his arrogance. It was in Kuwait that he met Mona Hassan, a Syrian woman who shared many of his traits: intelligence, ambition, and a lack of moral grounding. Mona had been living in Kuwait for years before Nader's arrival. She quickly recognized his potential and got close to him. Their relationship blossomed rapidly, turning from friendship into love. But it was Mona who took control, despite Nader's strong personality. She became the decision-maker, and he was the executor. A year later, Nader decided to marry Mona, despite his family's strong opposition. His parents disapproved of Mona, particularly because she had been married before. But Nader ignored their concerns and went ahead with the wedding without his family's presence. Back in Kuwait, Nader and Mona settled into a luxurious apartment in the upscale Salmiya area. Social status was everything to them, and they spared no expense in maintaining their image. A year after their marriage, they had their first child, and Mona decided to hire a housemaid to help around the house. They hired Joanna Feliz, a 25-year-old Filipina who came from a simple family in the Philippines. Joanna was hardworking and trustworthy, but she had no idea that she was about to enter a living nightmare. From the very beginning, the relationship between Joanna and Mona was terrible. Mona constantly fought with her, often leading to physical abuse. Joanna endured it all in silence, too afraid to lose her job or be sent back to the Philippines. One day, Joanna accidentally broke a small but valuable piece of jewelry that Mona cherished. This was the breaking point. In a fit of rage, Mona beat Joanna severely, leading to her death. 2 days later, Nader went to the police and reported that Joanna had run away. In reality, Joanna's body was lying frozen in their freezer, a horrific secret that they kept for over a year. A year passed, and Nader and Mona continued their lives as if nothing had happened. But when they stopped paying rent and their car was left unattended, the landlord grew suspicious and called the authorities. When the authorities entered the apartment, they found Joanna's body bound and frozen inside the freezer. The discovery sent shockwaves through Kuwait and beyond. The gruesome discovery led to a diplomatic crisis. The Philippines demanded justice for Joanna, while Kuwait issued a death sentence for Nader and Mona in absentia. Nader was eventually captured in Syria and Mona in Lebanon, both confessing to their crimes. Despite the tensions, Wise leaders from both the Philippines and Kuwait managed to resolve the crisis diplomatically. But the memory of this horrific crime remains a stark reminder of what can happen when moral upbringing is neglected. Nader and Mona's story is a chilling example of how a lack of proper upbringing and moral guidance can lead to unimaginable horrors. It serves as a reminder that education and material success alone are not enough to build a decent human being. In memory of Joanna Feliz, 1989 to 2014.